Hello everyone, this is Darth Boy here, and you might be wondering why the input on the mic is kind of low, and that's because, I'm gonna play around with it, and we're gonna see what we can get. But I was just thinking of something about photography. Um, my eyesight, my eyesight's not as good as it used to be. I'm nearsighted. I think I've been nearsighted for a few years. I just didn't really accept it or realize it, for that matter. And because of that, what the hell? Always gotta love when you're doing a little vlog thing and the damn program pops up that he didn't want. And what was it about photography? Well, I have a whole thing about photography. If you're not willing to get down and dirty to get a shot, I'm talking about a shirt dirtied, your pants dirtied, yeah, maybe some dirt stains on your clothes, and you get the hell out. You get the fuck out. That means you're not fucking serious. You gotta be willing to get down on the ground to get the shot. You gotta know that your body's a fucking tool, just like your camera. And you can't, it's like, this is gonna kind of sound rambly here, but it makes sense to me. And I've told this to people, but the camera is an eye. The camera is your third eye. The camera has the ability to capture a moment in time. Once that moment's gone, it's gone forever. One of my favorite modes, actually the only mode I use to take pictures, is continuous. And I'm going to tell you why I use continuous and not single shot or any other mode. That's because when it comes to photography, I like going through a series of photos and looking through them and then seeing what looks different from one picture immediately taken after another. And then I like to zoom in and compare and contrast. I mean, if you've seen some of my Giantess photo manipulation montage things I do, or those speed manipulations, I hope you'll find some composition in there that makes sense. And a brain that's thinking about it from a photographic and cinematic mindset, because that's just how I think. When I shoot a picture, I understand what I am doing. I understand that I'm capturing a moment in time, a moment that will be lost forever in a matter of seconds, milliseconds. And because of that fact, I want to keep that moment alive. I want to keep my love of photography present when I take pictures. Anyway, there are other things that I think are interesting when I compare traditional art and photography. You want to know one of the reasons I got into photography? It's because I sucked at traditional art. I tried charcoal. I tried a mixture of charcoal and pastel. I tried hand drawn stuff when I was a kid. I sucked at it. I hated that I sucked at it. Now, some of you may say patience, practice, 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 but maybe it's because I didn't have the will to practice, and I feel that's one of my deepest regrets as an artist was not taking the time to try to really understand traditional art. I always wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to express myself. But then it's like I found photography years ago, and it was just, taking pictures. I still got all my pictures. One of the first cameras I had was a little video camera, and I just shot pictures on that fucking thing. Still have it. It's beaten up and busted to shit and won't work at all. But that was my first camera, and I didn't back any of the pictures up like an idiot. So those videos are lost forever. Those pictures are lost forever, unfortunately. But I remember taking them. I remember being in the moment. I remember the fun and the joy I had in, taking pictures. And I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until in 2012 my parents got me a DSLR. And ever since they got me that has become like my baby. It's become my baby because I love it. I love that camera. I love the fact that I know it so well. Yes, it's a little old. Yes, I know there are newer models, but I don't give a shit. I love that particular camera. I love the feel of that camera. I love what I can do with that camera, what I've done with that camera. I love what it has made me, I want to say, be able to do. It made me think. I used to do some modeling pictures with some friends and people I knew, and it would force me to get on the ground to contort my body to get different angles because I knew I wanted a particular shot, and I knew the only way I could do it was to get my body flat on the ground, to lay flat on my back, and take the picture through the viewfinder. Now there are advantages and disadvantages to the viewfinder. I find the viewfinder as a test to see how real you are as a photographer. Now that might sound a little arrogant, but I do think I know a lot when it comes to the field of photography. I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to photography. Yes, I know there's f-stop and aperture and shutter speed and all those technical terms, but to me, all I try to do is I just try to think about the image. I try to think about it. I try to really think about the image and what it's going to present to me and what I'm going to make it become. And then I'd put it in Photoshop, the picture in Photoshop if I really liked it. And I would adjust the lighting. One of my favorite things to do in Photoshop is really explore the concept of the high contrast with the darks and the lights and really figure out what makes an image striking and eye-catching and makes the viewer of the photo go, I want to hang that in my fucking wall. I love the feel of being in the moment. I love everything about photography. One of the things I absolutely love about taking pictures now as opposed to how I used to take them is now I got lightweight. You know what I mean by that? I have a little camera sleeve around my DSLR. On the strap of the well, it's also attached, that little camera sleeve's attached to the camera. That's to make it waterproof and to make sure it doesn't get scratched up. I believe I got that in Boston in 2015. Went to a camera store and we got it. And I also got some SD card holders. And I'm going to tell you right now, what made me really appreciate those card holders, like really, was when Chelsea Clinton came to near where I live. It was during the 2016 election, obviously. And I had my fucking DSLR. There were so many times during the 2016 election that I kind of fucked up. like in terms of photography. One, I wanted to get a tons of pictures. Like I wanted to get pictures of Natalie Portman instead of using my goddamn phone. But they were like, "Oh, you need a press pass," and I'm like, "Fuck you! I didn't want to get thrown out." I was pissed. And then it's like the one damn time I didn't need a press pass, right? And I didn't have an SD card. So that's one of the reasons why I have a little plastic SD card holder, which is great. It's waterproof and really shields the SD cards from the elements. And they are 32 gigs and 64 gig cards. And I always rip them from the computer to the laptop. And I might say that's not the best idea in the world because the data could get lost, and unfortunately, that happened with the Antifa stuff. I still gotta get that damn drive fixed. I gotta schedule a Geek Squad appointment. I've been meaning to, but I didn't have time. But ignoring that, what else do I want to say here? Oh yeah, I wanted to say that when it comes to traditional animation and traditional drawing, one thing that I thought was interesting was that the person who is a hand-drawn person that does hand-drawn animation um, hold on, I'm just a little tired right now. So what was I getting at here? Oh yeah, one thing that made me think today was that I had to do something called catching a person in their environment. All that was, you take pictures of someone doing something cool like wood shop or drawing, which is what I did. I did a series of photos of my friend drawing. I got like 111 pictures, and that's the reason why I like digital. But ignoring that, when I was sitting there and watching him and the little details to his work, all I could think was I envied that skill because it showed patience. It showed, like, the thing I envy about the traditional drawer versus someone like me, which is a photographer and Photoshop artist, is that the traditional artist gets everything from their fucking brain. Every little thing they put from page, from pen to page, is their head, right? Me, I gotta rely on machines and technology. In a way, I've gotta rely on electricity to get my shit working. You know, they're fine. They can just have pen, paper, and time. That's all they need. Me, I need a battery pack. I need several batteries. I need a charger. I need a computer. I need an SD card. I need a hard drive in the computer. I need a backup hard drive. I need a lot of gear. I need a lot of shit. You know, but the traditional artist just sits in his room with a desk lamp and just puts pen to page. And I goddamn envy that. I just fucking envy that, and I'm jealous. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm fucking jealous of that level of dedication. Now, yes, I do that with Photoshop, and I'm not downplaying any Photoshop artist. I've seen tons of amazing Photoshop art, but when I compare my art, my Photoshop art, to something my friend does, you know, I'm talking about photo manipulation stuff, not just putting a picture through Photoshop, adjusting the lighting and maybe playing around with the coloring and shit like that. I'm talking about like comparing the two. You can do art in Photoshop, yes. I know you can do drawing in that program, but when I'm talking about Photoshop, I'm talking about photo manipulation versus traditional drawing. Photoshop also took a lot of skill to get to the level I'm at now. It took 2012 to now. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about Photoshop, even though I do consider myself an expert. I could probably teach it to someone pretty well. I would still say that I'm still learning. It's still an ongoing process. I'm sure that's the same with any artist. But when I look at Photoshop, I feel home. I feel peace. I feel something of serenity, if that makes sense. And it puts me at ease. It puts me in a space of concentration, a space of focus, a space of just pure mental bliss, where nothing else matters except me and that screen and that picture and the files within that. And God, I wish I could show you what's going on in my fucking head right now. Like what in my mind I'm seeing, but like if I just close my eyes, there's a mouse, there's a keyboard, there's a computer, there's Photoshop open, there's all my pictures ready to go. And there's just me waiting to put mouse to program. If you could say that, ready to cut it out, ready to take days, weeks, maybe take a few years off and come back to it and fuck with it and make it beautiful. Make it actually work. And that's the joy of digital art. That's the joy of being a photographer. When I really think about it. One of the key things about photography is knowing how to get lighting, knowing how to really think about lighting. And there's a whole thought process. Like today, there were only a couple sources of light, and I got it. I might continue this in another video, but I just wanted to give you a rambling general thoughts of photography. I hope it makes sense. And for those of you who are aspiring artists, never give up. There's always an art form you can master and become good at. It just takes time. That's what I wanted to end with. You know what the difference was? You know why I probably got really good at Photoshop? Is because I think subconsciously there was something within me that said, you are not going to fuck this up. You are not going to give up. You are not going to, shoo this away because it's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. Like drawing in traditional art, it's too hard. No. It's like, I think I told myself, you're going to fucking stay with this. And you're going to get fucking good. You're going to get really fucking good. And you're going to fucking master this. Because you're not going to fuck this up for yourself. You're not going to fuck this up for me. Like if I really got down to it because, looking back on it, it's like I struggled with Photoshop. I was like, oh, some of it's too hard. Now some of the manipulations I saw, like someone could give me a list of things to manipulate. It would take me time. Don't get me wrong. To really do it well, it would take me at least an hour, maybe an hour or two. Like to really just sit down and focus on the piece and focus on the details, because that's the part of photography and photo manipulation art. It's the details that really count in a piece. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough about photography. Anyway, this is Darth Boy. Live long and prosper and have a nice day. I might continue this later, and I'm going to shut this off so I can go to sleep.